Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first week tuning in. My name is Stephanie, and each week I bring you some guidance to help us get a jump start on the coming week. So we use the Akashic Records and get 3 keywords. We use some crystal guidance by way of these crystal cards. This week we will use crystal deck number 5. These are from healingcrystals.com. And some oracle guidance. And this week we will be getting our oracle guidance from this Oracle of the Fairies. So this week we are looking at the time period of January 22nd to the 28th, 2023. But if you stumble across this guidance outside that time frame and it feels relevant to you, then it absolutely is whenever you come across it. So for purposes of this video, we are January 22nd to 28th. We are just coming out of the energy of a new moon in Aquarius on, I believe in Aquarius. As I mentioned many times, I'm not an astrologer, just fascinated by it. And I do sometimes mention the moon cycles. So just if you're watching this on Sunday, the day it starts for the 22nd, we would be having a new moon on the 21st, on Saturday, the 21st. So still very much in that new moon energy, which is the energy of creation, the energy of movement forward, the energy of please focus on what it is that you do want instead of focusing on what you want to eliminate. So big difference, a lot of people, when they look at manifesting things, their brain automatically goes to, I want to be debt free, or that sort of phrasing, or I want to be free of illness, that sort of phrasing, where it's really much more effective to bring in what you want when you focus on it in a positive manner. So I am thankful for financial freedom, or I am thankful for my perfect health in those 2 examples. So really still very much in the energy of that through around Monday. So this week, let's start with the Akashic Keywords. And again, these are 3 keywords that I channel each week during my work in the Akashic Records. I do private readings, and if you have any interest in diving a little deeper into a habit or behavior or question or issue that you have been dealing with, my information for private readings is always in the description box. So the keywords this week, probably the strangest combo, or I guess the one that I had to ask for the most clarification on that I've ever gotten. The first one is projection. So this, I was shown kind of like a 2-pronged meaning, or a 2-fold meaning. Projection as far as sitting in what we want to create now to project that into the future. And we've talked about that a lot recently, probably forever on this channel. But it is something that has come up a lot again recently over the past couple months, about how what we want is there waiting for us at the appropriate and best and most ideal and optimal time, as long as we are focusing on what that is in the present. So really staying present. And that is how we naturally and very organically project into the future what is best for us, what we do want. So it's there waiting when the time is right. That whole divine timing or perfect timing thing, right? So projection, on the one hand, is being shown the future by virtue of being present and creating what we want in the present. So I think, was it last week or the week before, I got kind of a visual of a slingshot, like we're creating what we want and sort of slingshotting it into the future. So still in that energy of that projection. And what it is an ideal projection. It is what we do want. It is what is best for us, because we are staying present and really tuned into what is best. And we are using our intuition and that higher guidance that's available to us, and we're trusting it, so that we know what we are slingshotting is what we want. The other thing about projection is it can be a projection of our feelings. This was kind of the second prong, or the second fold that I got, was it can be a projection of feelings. So that one, just kind of watching out for this week. Are these really our feelings that we're putting out there? Are they our true feelings? Do we need to sit with anything, dial into it, and make sure we're not picking up on collective or other people's energies, if we tend to be one who does that, or one that has that, happen commonly or frequently? So really just being careful about projection, but also being aware that that can be happening from the other side. Sorry, I've got something distracting here. People could be projecting onto us. So just being aware of that projection, it could be either of the meanings, could be both of the meanings for you this week, but just being aware of that, you could be projecting something that is no longer true for you. So dial into it, sit with, your current present reality and what you want to be projecting. Because this is really a week to dial into what we want to be projecting forward with that first meaning of this word. But also be aware that some people are less aware and maybe projecting their own feelings onto you this week. Just something to be aware of. The second keyword that came out is truth. And this is kind of just what is the truth? What is the reality of whatever situations you are dealing with this week? What is the truth of it? And asking yourself, is that true? Is that the truth? Am I projecting? Is something being projected onto me? So these two closely tied together, and just sitting with what is the truth, kind of distilling everything down, taking emotion out of it, looking at things objectively and in a detached way and saying, okay, what is the truth of this? And then the last one was preoperation, which I kind of had to ask myself if that really is a word. I said it a few times. Preoperation, which, to me, when I kind of dissected it in my mind, was like, okay, it comes before operation. So is it something that's coming before an action step we take, before the operation of something? But I got a pretty strong no on that. And so I dove a little deeper into what preoperation means. And it turns out, interestingly enough, it is one of the 4 stages that a psychologist named, I think, Jean Piaget came up with maybe in the 1920s. So there's 4 stages during our childhood, and preoperation is around the ages, like very young childhood to age 7. It's where our thinking is based in intuition and maybe is not entirely logical, but isn't that kind of a cool time period where we're not told that's not logical? For most of us anyway, ideally, we're not told that's not logical. We're told, use your imagination. So it's kind of a liminal time period between infancy and when we're told to kind of dial things back. So it's when our language becomes more mature. It's when we think about things symbolically, and when we develop sort of memory and imagination that lets us differentiate from the past, present, and future. But our imagination and our sense of wonder and make-believe is still very much driving us. We're not told, oh, that can't happen, or oh, come on, be logical. So I thought that was interesting that this comes out with projection and with truth. And then we have preoperation. So saying, do tune into your big dream, do tune into your imagination, do tune into, your intuition this week and create that projection that you want to send forward, but also being aware of things that are being projected and being projected onto you and finding the truth in those. So kind of interesting keywords this week. Let's move on and talk about our crystal energy. And I did draw the cards ahead of time as I normally do, but I have not looked at those yet. So this week for our crystal, we have chrysoberyl. I really love this yellow. It's very solar plexus sort of focused this week. And that is all about self-worth, self-love, tuning into the self, which goes right along with our keywords. The 3 keywords for this are forgiveness, inner peace, and self-worth. And the mantra or affirmation that you can use this week if you want to tune into the energy or work with the energy of chrysoberyl is, I release my past and step into the next phase of my life. So slingshot energy all the way. I release my past and step into the next phase of my life. I can't quite get that back far enough. I shall work on this one of these days. So then let's talk about our weekly oracle cards, starting with Sunday. And we have the moon energy, which is interesting given that I mentioned just the day before on Saturday, we are having a new moon. So very much still in the moon energy on Sunday. And this says, surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, and that could be kind of projections and seeking the truth, that energy, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. And I know not all of us are fairy people, right? Like, I don't generally work with the energy of fairies. So anytime this deck says, if you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions, in my mind, I kind of turn it into this energy or this higher guidance, or this divine source comes in, whatever works for you this week. These are just energies that are coming in. So this energy comes in to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. And peace of mind is possible by tuning into that truth and discerning what is truth and what is a projection this week. So that's our Sunday. And then keep that open. Monday, we have the Lost and Found card. So Lost and Found says, what was once lost is about to be found, thanks to the Lost and Found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things we never even realized were lost. So just tuck this one into your back pocket and keep it in mind on Monday or a day on either side of that. If you lose your car keys, misplace your sunglasses, something like that, this could be a very literal message for you. And you can always ask for help, whether you work with angels or your higher self or source energy, whatever it is you work with, whether you meditate, whether you pray, whether you just talk to yourself, it's all fine. But keep in mind that you can ask for higher guidance and assistance when this sort of thing happens. It could also be something bigger. That Lost and Found is not a set of car keys or a set of sunglasses, but tuning back into your true authentic self. And that's our second keyword, is that truth energy this week. So then Tuesday, we have pure intention, and it says the fairy of manifestation will help you use your wishes wisely. So there's that kind of discernment energy popping up again. Manifest your heart's desire with pure intention and for the highest good of all. And I'll tell you what is really popping out at me for this one is the word pure, which is really about that discernment, which is dialing into not what we think our intentions are or what society or our family or historically our intentions feel like they should be, but using that truth and saying, okay, what now? What right now? What is my intention, my pure intention? What is it I want to send forward? What do I want to project forward? And using that to set your intentions. Oh, funny. So the next card for Wednesday, I just said the pure is really jumping out at me from that card, and the next card is purity. So yeah, really tuning into your own truth, our second keyword this week, and saying, what is my truth? It may take some journaling. It may take some, automatic writing, if that's something you do. It may be sitting and meditating or just quieting your mind. Whatever it is, whatever your process is for tuning into your truth, it could be walking and just kind of talking things out in your own mind while you're walking. Really kind of distilling things down and discerning what your truth is this week. So the purity card says, always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it, you will find the answer to your question. So around Wednesday, if you do have a specific question pop up, keeping in mind that you might want to do that kind of journaling or meditation or walking meditation, to kind of talk yourself through, or counseling, or seeing a therapist, whatever you find most helpful. There may be something pop up that you need to kind of talk it out, is the message I'm getting, whether it's with yourself or with someone else that you can bounce your ideas off of. But tuning into that purity, that distilled down question that you are attempting to connect with the truth of. And then Thursday, we have inspiration. So this one says, be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from the fairy of inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. So this saying to me that, it's the energy of inspiration, or it's messages from the divine. Again, however you receive those. But this, since it specifically says from dusk to dawn, it could come during those moments of walking meditations or journaling in the morning, or it could come while you're dreaming, and a lot of times we think we're going to remember these profound dreams, but I always say keep, either a notes app on your phone, which I don't generally recommend staring into that bright blue phone light at night, but If it works for you, it works for you. But generally, maybe keeping a pencil and a pad of paper and hoping you can, understand what you wrote to yourself while you were in a dream state, but kind of at least writing down, or even leaving an audio note for yourself if that is something you find helpful. But we all, sometimes receive the most profound guidance, whether it's from the divine or it's from our subconscious. We receive it during dream states and we think, man, this was super important. What an epiphany. I will surely not forget this. And then it's faded by the time we actually make it out of bed. So especially this week, being open to being kind of struck by inspiration and remembering to record those bursts. Then Friday, we have the Flourish card, and the Flourish card says the Lotus Flower Fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. So I am going to argue with this card, which I don't usually do, but I'm going to say this is not a week to shine your light on others. This is a week to look at maybe what's and shining a light really is that projection keyword, right? Shed your inner light, and that's like shedding a light on the truth. That's shedding a light on those things that are projecting and being projected onto you. And just when it says unclear areas of your life, that's shedding the light of your personal truth on those. I would say don't project that, or don't, at least don't shine a glaring spotlight on others. Maybe go inward and see how things are being projected onto you. Examine your own thoughts, examine your own truth. Don't presume to know the truth of others this week, and you will flourish. And then Saturday, our last day of the week, we have this beautiful kind of rainbow energy that is the healing card. If you look closely above that, we have that rainbow, very healing energy. Now is a time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal, even you. So spending some time in healing, if you're somebody that receives energy work or enjoys energy work, whether that is Reiki or even more physical forms of therapies that move energy through our bodies, like acupuncture, massage, considering doing that at some point this week, knowing that you're very receptive to healing because you have spent the week really examining things and tuning into your truth, and knowing that your intuition is there for you, going back to that sort of revisiting that stage of childhood of pre-operation and saying, I can use my imagination, I can use my intuition, I can create the future, I can slingshot my truth into the future, and it will be there waiting when the time is right. So that is our energy for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's reading. I hope you will tune in next week to see what the energy holds, and I will see you soon.